All right, let's talk about your temperatures out there. So we've got numbers that are in the 30s due to this fog that we have in place off of the Great Salt Lake. We've got temperatures that are in the mid-30s here, being held down by that layer of fog and the inversion layer that we have out there as well. But the fog is beginning to dissipate now, slowly but surely, so that's good news. But still, we've got to deal with that haze. We've got 43 degrees in Ogden. You get up a little bit in elevation. 50s from Price over towards Emory. Good afternoon in Moab. You're at 44. 55 in Escalante and 57 in St. George. So haze, fog, smog, it's all out there. That's the weather story. Just a murky looking sky across the northern valleys. But here's the good news. Latest look at the visibility map, and you can see that fog really has started to dissipate here coming off of the lake. So we've just got a little bit of a patch left. Now the main area here is basically right near the airport and over towards the Magna area. That's where we still got kind of a smaller area of fog left over, but even that is beginning to dissipate. So hopefully over the next hour or two, we'll kind of get rid of the fog. But we're not going to get rid of this, and that is the air quality that is still in the moderate category across most of northern Utah. But notice we do have a concentration of more elevated air quality from Ogden, Layton, down towards West Jordan, over towards Lehigh. And there's a bullseye on the north side of Salt Lake here where we've got that unhealthy for sensitive group air quality here showing up. So the unhealthy air is starting to expand. So we get rid of the fog. We say hello to the unhealthy air quality. Code orange for the rest of this afternoon, not just for Salt Lake County, but for Utah County, also Davis County. If you're not in the unhealthy part, you are in the moderate category. So either way, not looking pretty good out there. As we look at the big weather map, there's a big storm system, big low pressure swirling through the Great Lakes, diving into the United States, dragging a cold front with it. You see all these little mini lines that I put on the map here? These are called isobars. And the closer they are together, those indicate lines of equal pressure. And the closer they are, that lets us know the stronger the wind. So this is where all the high winds are. They line up well with those wind alerts in effect coming through the plain states. We wish we had this wind, at least some of it, not necessarily the high winds, but some of the winds over Utah, because that would lead to mixing of the air and that would stir up some of this dust and haze and particles that we have floating in the air. But because we've got this high pressure ridge, notice how we don't have those isobars close together. That means the air is pretty stagnant, and that's why we have a lot of the fog and the haze out there that's kind of trapped this morning. Futurecast showing us here we'll have the storm system continuing to dive into the midsection of the country. So showers and storms expected over the Tennessee Valley, heavy snow expected over the Ohio Valley and the Great Lakes. But we stay quiet. Notice out towards the west, there's absolutely nothing as more high pressure drops in from the western half of the country. You're going to have to go east of the Mississippi to find any active weather. But what's so interesting, places that don't typically see snow are going to see some snow this weekend. I think as we get you down towards the Florida Panhandle, Pensacola, Mobile, Alabama, Panama City Beach. Hey, a good beach weekend if you want to go find some snow. These places could pick up an inch or two of snow, which would actually be more than we've seen in Salt Lake City all season long. How about that? Could be a very big possibility. And no, there's no snow in the forecast here across Utah as we've got high pressure through this weekend and really through most of next week as well. So your weekend outlook calls for lots of sunshine, mild temperatures, mid-40s for Saturday and Sunday. St. George, you'll be in the upper 50s. Sunshine expected for your Saturday and Sunday. And again, if you're not going to be tuned in between 2 and 4 here to ABC4 on Monday, you can head down to the MLK March there at the University of Utah. It starts at the Student Union Building and ends at Kingsbury Hall. Again, temperatures in the mid to upper 40s. With a clear sky. There are signs we'll get into a weather pattern for the last week of January, but for right now, I would say it's signs. I don't see anything that's very positive at this current time. Here's a look at your 7 days. St. George, 60 degrees for your Friday, upper 50s this weekend and the next week. The weather remains fairly calm. The Wasatch Front getting rid of that dense fog, but watch out for that unhealthy air quality today, hopefully easing a little bit this weekend. Listen.